Hello my dear 7th standard children. I am your biology teacher. I am going to take a unit 5 reproduction and modification in plants. View this video and utilize. Hello children. Now we are going to see the reproduction and modification in plants. In this lesson we are going to learn the flower becoming a fruit with a seed through pollination and fertilization. And what is mean by self-pollination, cross-pollination in plants, and modification of root, stem, leaves. And the last one is modification are useful to animals and human beings. Already we learned in the lower classes what is flowering plants and what is vegetative organs. Flower, fruits, seeds are vegetative reproductive organs. In earlier classes also we know very well a new plant can grow from seeds. The flower changes itself into a fruit and modification of the root, stem, leaf of a plant. The next we are going to see reproduction. The process by which plants and animals produce young ones and increase their number is known as reproduction. Drumstick tree can be grown from both seeds and stem cutting. When plants reproduce from seeds, we call that process is called a sexual reproduction. And other way of reproduction without seed is called as a asexual reproduction. There are two types of reproduction in plants, sexual as well as asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is a protection only single parent is involved. In sexual reproduction is a reproduction both the parents are involved. Now we are going to learn about the detailed explanation of sexual reproduction. Seed is produced from a flower by the process of pollination and fertilization. This is known as a sexual reproduction. Here comes the parts of the flower: petal, sepal, pistil, and filament and stigma. These are the important parts of the flower. In hibiscus flower, the bud is green in color. In Datura flower, its also bud is green in color. Dissected hibiscus flower, the bud is curled petals, small tube with the yellow knobs, anther. In Datura flower dissected, the bud is curled petals, small yellow lobes, anther. Now we are going to see the open flower of hibiscus and Datura. In open flower, hibiscus is brightly colored and petals. In Datura flower, it is white color petals. In this picture also you can able to see hibiscus is a bright red in color and Datura is a white color. Dissected hibiscus flower, expanded petals, expanded tube with the yellow lobes, anther. In Datura flower, dissected, expanded petals, expanded yellow knobs, anther. Each of these green-like structure present as an outermost layer is called sepal. This most ring of sepal is known as calyx. Sexual reproduction in plants. You can able to see the plants part. We took hibiscus flower and some of the parts are there. Male part of the flower is anther and filament, and female part of the flower is stigma, style, and ovary. The male part of the flower is called androecium and the female part of the plant is gynoecium. Hibiscus, we can observe many stems are arranged. The ring wall of the flower is called as the androecium, and these stems consist of two parts, a stalk called filament and a lobe called anther. If you touch these lobes in the matured flower, you can get powdery substances called pollen grains as a male reproductive part. In Inner to this androecium wall, we can find the female reproductive part of the flower. It is called as a gynoecium. This is the ovary. Seed are produced in this part. On the top of the ovary, there are the slender tube-like structure called style. The most sticky bit of the style is stigma. Pollen grains are received by the stigma. This is the fourth whorl of the flower. Types of the flower. In all four whorls, calyx, corolla, stems and petals are present. It is called as a complete flower. Complete flower are bisexual flowers. In these four whorls is missing, then it is incomplete. The incomplete are unisexual. So complete flower is called bisexual and incomplete is called unisexual. So there are two types of flowers are there. One is bisexual and another one is unisexual. The unisexual which have the two types, one is male flower and female flower. The one with androecium and without gynoecium is called as a male flower. But one with a gynoecium and without androecium is called as a female flower. These are called as a unisexual flowers. The next topic is flower to the root. Here I gave you one example of how the fruit is developed into tomato. The flower pumpkin are unisexual and the some of the flowers are male while many are female flowers. We can easily identify the male and the female bud of pumpkin even before they bloom. Once the flower buds appear, immediately identify 10 female flower buds. So, choose any 3 to 4 male flower, pluck the stems to these flowers and dust the pollen grains in a sheet of paper and collect it. After a few days, we can see the flower in all bags that are not opened at all could without forming a fruit. While most of the flowers to which pollen have been applied for fruits. The process which a pollen grain reaches a stigma is called pollination. The flower that receives pollen grains is called pollinated flower, while one that did not receive pollen grain is called unpollinated flower. The next important topic is pollination. The process by which the pollen grains reach stigma is called pollination. And it is also having unpollinated flowers and pollinated flowers. So even though we have artificial pollination and natural pollination, the pollen grains from the male flower to female flower is called as artificial pollination. In many ways in which pollen grains reach the stigma of a flower and it is called as a natural pollination. Two types of pollinations are there. One is cross-pollination, another one is self-pollination. The self-pollination is a plant can make the anther to stigma on the same flower is called as a self-pollination. Cross-pollination means transfer from the anther from one flower to the stigma of another flower of the same kind of a different plant. That is called as a cross-pollination. You can able to see A to B is a self-pollination. If A to C or B to C is called as a cross-pollination. Plants do not need to produce a pollen grains in large quantity in self-pollination. It does not produce the changes in the characteristics of new plants. In cross-pollination, the plants need to produce pollen grains in large quantities to increase the chance of pollination because it is pollinating from one plant to another plant. Cross-pollination does not introduce a variation in characteristics of new plants. The next topic is fertilization. Through pollination, pollen grain reach stigma. What happens after it? The substance produced on the stigma causes the pollen grain to germinate. During the germination, a tube develops from the pollen grain that carries the male gamete that ultimately reaches female gamete inside the ovary through style. Male gamete fuses with the female gamete to form the zygote. This process is known as a fertilization. Here you can able to see the life cycle of plant. Now this observation we noted, the list changes that taken place in flower after fertilization. These are collectively said to be the post-fertilization changes. The zygote develops into an embryo of a seed with cotyledons developing the shoot and developing the root. The endosperm nucleus divides and gives rise to endosperm. In some seeds, the endosperm is completely absorbed by the embryo, which stores the food material in the cotyledons. A fruit is formed from the ovary and ovule. The ovary wall ripens to form a pericarp. The ovules becomes the seeds and full chamber is loxy. The ovules present are inside the ovary which develops into the seed. The ovary enlarges to store the food material and develops into the fruit. The next one is asexual reproduction. Earlier we saw the plant produced not only from the seed but by other processes as well. The protection of the new plants without the involvement of pollination and fertilization is known as asexual reproduction. Here comes the asexual reproduction types. Vegetative propagation, budding, fragmentation and spore formation. The first one is vegetative propagation. I gave you as a potato as an example. Shoot arises from eyes. Vegetative parts of the plant such as root, stem and leaf can help in propagate the plants. So you can able to see the picture how vegetative propagation takes place. Second one is budding. They are very soft in nature. This is due to the presence of yeast. Which is soft in nature? Yes, cakes and breads. Single yeast undergoes asymmetric division. It produces small protuberance which gradually grows and detach from the parent cell. This process is called as a budding. You can able to see this picture how budding it takes place. If you cut and plant it somewhere else, this is grows as a new plant. And the third one is fragmentation. In the pond we can see many algae. Spirogyra is a filamentous algae. When it's matured, the filaments divided into pieces. While you can see the picture itself, you can able to understand what is meant by fragmentation. It will cut divides into the two parts and it will develop into the two new parts. Each fragment or a piece of a filament will grows into a new filament or individual. Like spirogyra produce many young ones and this process is known as a fragmentation. Fourth one is spore formation. What do you mean by unfavorable condition? Scarcity of water, nutrition deficiency in soil, with a high temperature, these are the unfavorable condition. During these conditions, non-flowering plants like algae, fungi, ferns produce spores. They germinate into a new plant when favorable conditions are returned. This process is called as a spore formation. Modification of plant part. I gave you as 3 examples is onion, potato and mango. Normally, each plant organ originally evolved to meet a certain needs of plant. For example, Root involved primarily to anchor the plant and also absorb water and mineral nutrients from the soil. Leaves are adapted to optimize photosynthesis. Stems evolve to reach out to sunlight and also serve to conduct water from the roots to the leaf. However, in certain plant species, specific fat are involved further in unusual and surprising way. Leaf of a cat is actually their stem and what will appear as pine. It's actually a leaf. Its leaves are modified into pines, an adaptation to reduce the transpiration. Photosynthesis is performed by the stem part of the flower. Modification of fruit. Look at the radish, turnip, beetroot, carrot. Some of the pictures I gave you here, they all grow under the soil. As soon as you pluck from it from the ground, if you wash it, what you can able to see? You can see the small root dangling from the surface. All the vegetables are in fact a root of the plant instead of thin slender roots in the case of such plants. Roots have become a place to store a food produced by them. They are thick and swollen. One can notice the tap root of radish. How it is shaped it is? It is slender, swollen in the middle and tapering at the both ends. This type of modified root is called as a spindle shaped roots. The example is radish. And the next one is beetroot. In this case of beetroot, the turnip has a beetroot. The tap root can acquire in the shape of the top and that is spherical at the base and tapering shortly towards the apex. And this is called as a top shaped root. Carrot. While you seeing the carrot, the shape is conical, broad at the apex and tapering towards the base. Such modified roots are called as a conical shaped roots. Mechanical support. Look at the banyan tree. What you will see the banyan tree, big trunk supporting it, isn't it? How many of them is known it is actually a root? Yes, it is actually a root. Banyan tree is a large and huge. It needs support to tilt and fall down. Many plants require such additional support. Such plants develop root in their aerial parts to provide the mechanical support. These roots grow downwards and acts as a supportive organ. There are three types of modified roots for support: prop roots, slit roots, climbing roots. Prop root example is a banyan tree. It has a mechanical support. You can see in a banyan tree, the roots are modified to provide the mechanical support. And these roots grow vertically from a horizontal banyans of the tree. So it is called as a prop root. Slit root. The example of a slit root is sugarcane. In maize and sugarcane, adventitious roots arises from the nodes in the cluster at the basis of the stem. And these roots are called as slit roots. Climbing roots. The climbing root example is a beetle or a black pepper. In a beetle or a black pepper nodes or internodes bear roots which helps in climbing. Gaseous exchange. Evenica. You can see the picture is this Evenica. It is a tree which grows in mangroves or swamps. They have the roots which seed above the ground for the purpose of gaseous exchange. These roots are erect, peg-like structure with a numerous pores through which air circulates. And these roots are called as a breathing roots. Modification of stem. Common between a ginger, onion, bulb, tomato. How can you guess all these things? All three are stem. Some plants have their stem modified for storing food and for vegetative propagation. Modified stem may be aerial or subaerial or underground stem. So modified stems have two types, aerial and subaerial. Then In aerial modification, we will have example is cactus. In a dry climate, conserving the water is a challenge. Water evaporates from the surface. If the surface area is larger, evaporation could be more. If the surface area is smaller, the evaporation will be less. Obviously, we know this. Plants with many leaves have more surface area. Cactus is a thick stem which does not most of our food protection through photosynthesis and leaf are reduced to small pines with a less area surface. The second is subaerial modification. In the subaerial modification, we have the four types: runner, stolon, sucker, and offset. Runner. The stem grows laterally on the surface of the soil and breaks up to produce the root where it's touch the ground to give rise to a new plants. Example is tenella. You can able to, the first picture is runner. The second one is stolon. It's a slender branch of the stem that grows upwards to some distance and then bend towards the ground. Upon touching the ground, it gives rise to a new plant. Example is a wild strawberry. And the third one is sucker. Sucker is a short, weak lateral plant that grows diagonally upward and directly gives rise to a new shoot. The example is chrysanthemum. You can see the third picture. The next one is underground modification. In aerial and subaerial modification, stem has an indefinite growth. In underground modified stem, whole stem is buried under the ground and it has definite growth. Usually, stem grows above the ground, but there are some stems that grow under the ground to store food. And there are four types of underground stem. The first one is rhizome. I gave the example as turmeric. Second one is corm. I gave the example is colocasia. And third tuber example is potato, and plum the example is onion. The first one is rhizome, turmeric. It is an underground thick stem with the knots and interknots with the scale leaves at the knot. It grows horizontally and has an irregular shape. It gives rise to a new stem and leaf. Corm. This underground stem is round in shape and flat at the top and bottom. It is condensed form of rhizome and bear one or more buds in the axils of scale leaves. Daughter plants arises from their buds. Tuber. It is enlarged spherical underground stem that stores food. It has many dormant bud on the surface known as eye. If we plant a part of tuber with the bud, it grows into a new plant. Bulb. It is condensed stem with a disc-like store in the fleshy leaves. There are two parts is fleshy leaves and a scaly leaves. Upper part of the stem has a terminal bud. It is covered by a many scaly leaves and inner leaves stored food as seen in the garlic and onion. The last topic is modification of leaf. Plants have changed themselves to adapt to environment they grow. One of them is modification of leaf. Leaves of several plants get modified into different form based on the purpose and environment. I gave you some of the examples in spines, tendrils and traps. Spine, the first picture is spine, example is Optina. Leaves are reduced to spine and stem is modified into green succulent part to perform the photosynthesis. The second one is tendril, Piscium sativum. It's a climber. You can able to see the picture, it is a climber. Leaf of the plant could be modified into elongated structure to help the plants climb efficiently. Traps. Third one. Plants that grow in nitrogen deficient places adapt themselves well to get it. And these leaves are modified into flask-like structure. You can see that plant, it have the flask-like structure. Bag. It is also seen like a black structure also, which is used to attract the insect and other tiny animals. The inner wall of the leaf secretes digestive enzyme that helps to digest insect and extract nitrogen needed for the plant. Here comes your lesson gets over, and go through the lesson carefully and make down the important point in it and learn the definitions of a lesson and draw the picture of a flower hibiscus and mark the parts. I hope you can understand by this video session. So, learn, stay home, stay safe. Thank you, children.